We are live from the Spero Clinic, and today Keith is graduating. Now, Keith was a little bit of a skeptic when he started here, and I know he's okay with me saying that. I asked his permission, and he said, yeah, I'll agree with that. Despite his skepticism, though, he continued to push so hard through all of his treatments. Keith, you showed up every single day with an incredible attitude. You gave 100% effort in everything that you did. I remember one day I walked into your NMR session and you and I were chatting very casually. And I leaned over to Anna and I said, what is he at? And she said, oh, he's on 100. That's the moment that I knew you were unstoppable. Your pain started to drop. Then you started to reach 0. And we started to count how much longer the 0 was holding. And we both got more and more excited. He even started jogging to my office each day. So it's just been so much fun to see you do all the things that you've done. The joy is back in your eyes. And I'm excited for you to get back to your family and gardening and these sweet grandbabies. So I'm very proud of you, Keith.
Thanks so
I'll
much.
give you the floor, okay?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Just a little history. Lane and I got married in England in 2000 and 1982, and very quickly found ourselves here in America. We lived in San Antonio for about 9 years, and then I joined a company that many people have heard of, McCormick, the spice and flavor people, and we moved to Baltimore, Maryland. In '99, I got a promotion, and my boss said, quite honestly, we would value you being somewhere else. That somewhere else turned out to be Northwest Arkansas. So in August of '99, here we were in Fayetteville. And though I didn't know that at the time, that was going to be a blessing in disguise, because in 2017, I was diagnosed with something called benign cramp fasciculation syndrome, which is a neuromuscular condition where the motor nerves fire off spontaneously and unnecessarily. That produces cramping in the muscle, for me, mainly in my calf muscles, which then resulted in pain. This limited my activity. It certainly altered the way I walked. I saw 5 neurologists over a course of several years. They prescribed me with all kinds of different medications addressing so-called root cause or the symptoms. Nothing worked. It was kind of desperation that the final attempt that I had to make to solve this issue was to go and consult a pain management specialist. I was finally put on an opioid called buprenorphine, which is a so-called mild opioid, but still had some unfortunate side effects. I feared at that time I would be on this stuff forever. However, forward to April of this year, Elaine had seen an announcement on Facebook where Dr. K was giving a presentation on neuropathy. She wanted to attend but was unable, so sent me. After the presentation, of course, Dr. K talked to me and wanted to know what my neuropathy was, and I explained why I was here, but that I had a condition that was significantly different. When I explained what it was and the symptoms, Dr. K very quickly opined that I would be a suitable candidate for the Spero program. We arranged for a visit later that month, and our daughter Kirsten and I were shown around by Kaylee, and Alexis, and ended up with the 3 of them discussing the pros and cons of Meghan Markle. However, we did visit with Dr. K afterwards, and she gave us a more detailed explanation of what I could expect from the program. I, as Dr. Lauren confirmed, was skeptical. I've got a fairly scientific background, and I looked at all of the incredibly complex pieces of equipment as we went around the buildings. And I was skeptical from the point of view that I was confident that this condition was both physiological and neurological. I didn't see how these non-invasive therapies would work. But Kirsten was very positive and encouraging and said, if you don't try this, you'll regret it. And how right she was. So I started here on May 1st and soon got into the program and started to do the kind of things that one is expected to do. I duly produced my picture board and started making notes in my journal, which actually did turn out to be useful because it highlighted little wins and significant activities and accomplishments. So it is worthwhile doing. As Dr. Lawrence said, eventually, I think it was like the middle of August, we began to see some periods at zero pain. It was like 10 minutes, quarter of an hour to start with, but gradually got longer and longer until we established that we were really hitting 24/7. And at that point, Dr. Lauren agreed that if these first 2 weeks in October I stayed at zero, I would be graduating today. I have so many thank yous, but basically I did actually speak to Dr. Kay last week and thanked her, A, for suggesting for me for the program, but also for putting together this fantastic program and collecting such a wonderful team that runs Spero. I, of course, went through all of these weird and wonderful therapies, thanks to the ladies who administered this strange water bath. Thank you to Ma for making sure that my lymph system was working right. Thank you to Joy. Where is she? Joy made sure that I was fully magnetized. However, I'm still not sure whether my head is positive or negative, and I'm hoping it's positive. I went through and did all of the laser treatments, the weird and wonderful world of, right? Thank you to the people at MIC, especially Shane, who was my principal therapist. A special thanks to Jacob, because I'm convinced that there was a significant contribution from Piezo in achieving the end that we did achieve. And a big thank you to all of the folks in NMR. I think I've interrelated with most of you. This is a great bunch of folks administering what I firmly believe has to be a very difficult therapy to administer, because they have gone through it, so they know what their patients are experiencing. And anybody that hasn't done this, you've got a great experience ahead of you. I do want to thank one specific person. Come here. Anna has been with me every day except one that I've been here. She was diligent in applying the therapy. Plus, we had a lot of fun, didn't we?
We did.
I worked out her MO when she put her hand on the stimometer dial. A little smile broke out of her face. That smile got bigger and bigger as the stem got higher and higher. until we hit 100 and a broad grin was across her face. And she said, "We're having fun now, aren't we?" I go, "No." But she has also been a cheerleader. She would egg me on with, "You can do it," or "You got it," which I valued a lot because it is tough. The NMR program, especially as you get to the end of it, is a pretty tough thing to experience. And I certainly did get down to 100. However, Anna hadn't finished, because then what did we do? We got to 100 in 1 second. So I got the hat. However, I had to say that there were certain interlopers, names not to be mentioned, Sierra and Jacob, who would barge in and dial me up to 100 straight away, taking great delight in doing that. But there was one thing that I had to sort out with Anna. We decided, well, I decided anyway, that saying rest at the end of these therapies just didn't get it. There's no way I was going to rest between 3 and 4 o'clock of an afternoon. So we said we have to rename some of these things. So I've got an aid memoir so that you know what to do, but we have lower body stem is stop. We appreciated that was the one thing we could say stop at. The little marches, since that was very military, we had to say halt. Now, reverse Superman. Anybody that is a DC comic fan would know that there is a character called Reverse Superman, and his name is Bizarro. So each section of the reverse Superman process, we had to say Bizarro. The pretzel, which is where I get my feet thrown up into the air and requiring the flexing of my feet. We decided that for that particular process, down was appropriate. So there you go. You have got that. Now, the next thing I was presented with, and this is the important T-shirt. This is what everybody is aiming for. And I will wear this with pride. However, there are some other things that have to be awarded. First of all, Anna, this is a container of Bird's custard powder. You will be able to savor the joys of banana custard. And the doyen of British desserts, the sticky toffee pudding.
Better. Thank you, Mr. Keith.
I do need to say one little word to the patients out there. Unfortunately, this process isn't quick. So one word I would say is patience. It doesn't happen overnight, and it requires effort. The second thing is faith. This process works, and eventually you will have a day like this when you can say that all your pain is gone and you're at zero. I do want to add one word for the folks that I will call caregivers. I've been blown away by seeing many friends and family come with the patients and showing such a lot of love and care as their friends and relatives go through this process. So thank you, caregivers, as well. So I would leave you all with this one thought. Hang in there, keep the faith, and you'll do it. So as I ring the bell, Thank you again to everybody at Spero.
Congrats.